Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another backtesting video. So we're going to get right into this. So yesterday, obviously, we ended very much with me, excuse me. Obviously, having to take the L on not marking up my charts as accurately as they should have been with the time-based liquidity pools, and ultimately missed an opportunity that we had earmarked. We earmarked key price level was a different key price level, but ultimately the key price level or the time-based liquidity pool that was purged ultimately, which led to the trade, should have been marked up, and that would have given credence, would have given the green light for a potential trade. So missed that. That's on me, and that's a shame because it's another missed trade. It's another one that got away. But this is the whole point of this journey, this playlist, this backtesting session, is to improve on these things and not miss them, and not try and get too caught up on certain things. So yeah, that one's a miss. So what I'm going to do quickly is we're just going to clear the charts off. Got news on Friday, so we may participate with Friday. I just want to get these off first. Okay, excuse me. Get these off. Then we're going to venture out to the hourly and then see. We can get rid of that. Get rid of all of this. Don't need any of that. Leave that for now. Get rid of all of this. Yeah, so we know we've purged that. Okay, so let's just move straight on to next session, I assume. So let's see where we trade up to. Interesting. But yeah, we've got another one to go. And one more. Right, so let's drop out. Let's get all of this off. Okay, sorry. It's caught up in my own world. Okay, so nothing to detail on the daily. Just pop out to the weekly very quickly. Obviously, we've got this high here, got this low there. It's fine. So we're going to drop down to the 4 hour. Let's first and foremost, let's just get rid of that and get rid of this. I actually want to get rid of that as well. Right, okay. first off, let's get the highlighter tool out. We're looking at Thursday, starts there, so we have that, and then we've obviously got that high, and we've got, yep, and that. Okay, so let's put in those key price levels. Okay. Okay, so we have that. Then to put this in, which is the old low H4. And unfortunately I'm going to have to this one's clicking away. Change my mouse. There we go. Let's use this one. We want the previous day's high. Well, what I want to know first and foremost, what's the high here? 303.50. Okay, so we've got equal highs there. Okay. So we've got that. Do have an imbalance there. We obviously have, that's the start of the new day there. So we can see our close there. So we've got this gap, which is new day opening gap if people utilize that. I personally don't per se, but people do. That candle hasn't completed, so we don't want to mark off that swing high yet, because it may not be one. Okay, so this imbalance here I'm not that bothered by, reason being there's not one on NQ. Now, yeah, because there's not one on NQ, I'm not so bothered by the imbalance. Okay, so let's get some notes. So it looks as though we're going to end the month positive, but maybe not as positive as we could have done. So 29th, but you never know, could still go all wrong in this session, but that's what you've got to employ, good risk management. So we're going to go out to the weekly. Let's have a quick look at what's going on. Weekly certainly appears that bearishness could well continue. Obviously saw the S at the lows, but currently IOF, let's see what we had. So IOF certainly on the weekly is bearish, can see that. and certainly on the daily is the same. So we can take the same now commentary. We can use that. So, relative to the weekly and daily time frame, institutional order flow remains bearish following the high time frame displacement, which was initiated by the high time frame cracking correlation, and then further reaccumulation from the CB daily. Okay. Bear with me. Let's just further look into. So obviously we noted the breakaway gap up here, and so far how the market has been supporting lower prices. Okay. So yeah, we can take that notation as well about the breakaway gap. So institutional order flow from a high time frame perspective is still bearish. In order to see any bullishness, we want to see this imbalance purged. If this imbalance gets violated, then naturally we would assume the market's going to attack this this high here, the previous weekly high. But right now, institutional order flow is supporting the merits of lower prices currently. That doesn't mean that the market can't reprice higher. It's just from a higher time frame, we would anticipate that the most explosive move will be to the downside. Okay. So, now it is plausible that if you look at if we took NQ for this example, that the market purged this old low weekly. Now I do believe that maybe this low wants to be revisited despite the cracking correlation, that this low could be revisited. It's interesting that the H4 institute order flow is bullish, that we can see. Certainly appears to be bullish, the H4, but again, that is totally fine in the grand scheme of things. The H4 can be bullish to take us into a premium before we seek lower prices, so totally fine with all of that. That's fine. Okay, so ERL, IRL. So again, if we're looking at NQ, we had the purge of the old low weekly, coupled with SMT at the lows. So naturally, we're making the case that the market could gravitate up to an imbalance above the current price before we see institutional order flow bearish potentially resume. So that hasn't changed, because if we look at the H4 time frame, which is key, that is supporting higher prices. Now that doesn't mean that now we don't see lower prices. If a framework forms to see lower prices, then it's lower prices. But currently, the market is supporting higher prices. We obviously had the high time frame displacement lower. Now the market has retraced a significant amount of this range. We've seen the market come back up, balancing price, filling in these imbalances, and then we saw this impulsive move higher. Market rejects from the CB and trades back down. So it's now going to be interesting to see what transpires within the market, but it is supporting potential higher prices, certainly to the daily inflection point. So again, the notation that we've sort of carried for internal to external, external to internal, is still very much valid. So SPs, what we have noted. Oh, sugars. Let's type that down here. So I have noted the clean and clear swing points, referencing previous day's high and previous day's low. Okay. Which have formed either side of the true week open, supporting the idea of an high probability trade idea if coupled with an high time frame cracking correlation. This is also where near term liquidity would be residing. Okay. So currently all members of the IFT are trading below their respective true week opens, supporting the idea of HP longs if coupled by an cracking correlation. Okay. So current cracking correlation, and again in terms of high time frame. So we've obviously noted the high time frame at the lows. So I noted the high time frame SMT at the lows, supporting higher prices. Which would have delivered on its trade objectives. Therefore, I am seeking new cracking correlation in order to formulate a new trade idea. Now, because of where we are, it depends on what models are available to us as we evaluate our game plans. It will determine that will ultimately determine where prices will determine what game plans are available to us, and that will also determine what type of Kraken correlation we're seeking to support said trade idea. So I'm going to drop down to the hourly. We can now get rid of a few things. So I'm going to get rid of this. Okay. So we're on the hourly. So let's start to see what we have. Should have that on silence. Apologies. Oh, this phone. There we go. Okay. So let's get back into this. So let's start from the top of the charts and work our way down. So we obviously have this price level here being the London high. So let's mark that in here. Okay. Then we've obviously, if we're looking down, no, let's just get this enlarged a little bit. Okay. Right, so now I'm looking at this imbalance as a whole. Okay. Okay. Yep. Okay. Fine. We want to take this across. It's quite a large one, but still important. Market traded all the way down to the lows of it, which was interesting. want to take the same. Just goes to show how good that move was yesterday that we missed. What a shame. Okay. So we've got that in play. We've got our high here. We've got the low. Obviously, this has been purged into this BISI, so that could be interesting. But again, we would want it to formulate during our windows. So there's nothing else towards. Yes, we've got this here from previous day, but we've got the aligned low and so on. So I don't think we need anything else. So it's now a case of looking at our game plans. But bear me 1 second. I just need to pop away from my desk. I'll be right back. And we're back. Apologies for that. I took the opportunity to make myself a coffee. So there we go. Keep the old insides warm. Okay, so let's focus on game plans then, in terms of what we're looking for. So we understand that the high time frame institutional order flow is bearish. So we know that any move potentially in alignment with that could be explosive, and therefore would need to see a run to this old high, or certainly this previous day's high. So, but again, we want to look at where price is, and price is currently below the true day open, midnight open, right? So, with that being said, what opportunities do we see that we could potentially see for higher prices? So the first one, if price formed cracking correlation inside of this hourly BISI at this old low H4 with NQ. That's the first one. So with price being below the true week open and true day open, if we see coupled with the high time frame cracking correlation at the lows. So now, despite the fact that me saying I would like to see another one, the point being is that is still in effect at the lows. So, and with price being below the true week open, and to be fair, if we purge that old low, that is a high time frame cracking correlation, because we're utilizing a high time frame key price level. Is it as strong as a previous day's low? No, but nonetheless, it's a high time frame key price level. With price being the true week and true day open, if we see high time frame cracking correlation at the old low H4, this could support the market to seek higher prices. So that would be old low H4, thinking what's key is, and inside of the BISI H1, we still want to see respect of that. Okay, so that would be one. Two would be potentially and bearing in mind that we sort of do have this cracking correlation already, because hold on, let me just edit the previous one. High time cracking correlation at the old low between ideally ES and NQ and inside. Okay. So I would then be looking at if this market was to, so we've got symmetrical price action at the highs. So I believe that we could well be targeting that. But if the market doesn't want to find or seek the liquidity here, then we could see a purge of the previous day's low. And that is, it's possible. Is it unlikely? Yeah, probably. But it's possible, so I want to note it as a potential opportunity. So with price being below the true week open, if the market was to purge the previous day's low and then form an high time frame cracking correlation, ideally with NQ, this could support near-term high prices. Okay. Then, to me, 3 would be if the market trades above the hold on, no, this one might be a little bit more because the true week open is in close proximity to the previous day's high. To see lower prices, hold on, let's it's an old high daily, so let's just go and see. Yeah, that could work. Okay. If the market trades above the previous day's, the true week open, and then purges the previous day's high on all 3 members, ideally, specifically ES and NQ, and then forms high time frame cracking correlation at the old high daily, this could support lower prices and a resumption of institutional order flow. So they would be the 3 that I'm looking at. So 1, cracking correlation here, ideally between ES and NQ would be ideal there. 2 would be at this key price level, cracking correlation here again, ideally between ES and NQ. And 3 would be if the market decided to find support here. Now, admittedly, the only reason why I wouldn't take a trade from here is if the market was to reverse now, pre-session and all of that sort of stuff to seek this high. Well, that wouldn't enable me. However, what I will add is number 4. If the market was to find support from the BISI H1 and then displace higher, if we see low time frame cracking correlation at an aligned H1 imbalance, this could set the stage for higher prices. And that would be the only way we'd be able to take a trade from here. So let's just say it creates the cracking correlation, but it creates it pre-market. So we don't want to engage. So we wait. We wait for the news and we wait for equities open and the market displaces higher and it leaves a fair value gap. Trades down into it but creates SMT, either PDA or low time frame SMT. That could be our catalyst to engage to seek these high prices. Could be a real short-term trade, but nonetheless a good one. So that would be the 4. Okay. So let's just drop down to the M15 and let's get some. So we've got all of our key price levels in, the ones that matter. We've got them all in. Okay, so what we want to do now is just get our timestamps in. So we're looking at 8:30. There. And then we are looking at 9:30. For equities open. Okay. So let's move time on. I'll have a little bit of coffee whilst we're at it. wrong cup. Okay. So you want to get to about 8:15 before the high impact news is what we're looking for. So let's go. And I'm still monitoring the first key price level. Okay. So I'm just going to stop it there a second. Let me just go back out. So obviously, as we can see, ES and NQ are in close proximity, but we could see the market trade higher from here. Certainly if we get low time frame confluences by way of the M5, we're not seeing no displacement yet, but the first sign of what we're seeing is the inversion fair value gap. But nonetheless, let's continue. Okay, so that would there. So I'm just going to go back out to the M15. So oh, okay, there. Okay, just what am I looking for? Oh right, put them on there. Okay, so sorry, just want to have a bit of coffee as well, actually. So let's. So first of all, I want to see that liquidity pool got purged there. This is a real small one here. So we'd be looking at the M15 order block to be there. M15. If we go to NQ, potential. Just sorry if we just come back to ES. Potential balance there. Okay. And obviously we need to monitor. So we could say all of that is the order block. And although not confirmed, so it would be, because technically we're not at the news yet, so this is all pre 8:30, right? So certainly not confirmed. I'm marking up, but it does not mean I'm engaging anything yet. Because this could quite comfortably still go lower. Just want to check the H1. Interesting. H1 candle would be purged. So I'm going to drop down to an M1 just because I want to, and then I'm just going to click through just to see how the candles close. Do we get, does look rather like, okay, so the news has tapped into that. The question would be, do we take a position now? I just want to go and check the M5. M5 displacements there, which is supported. Not ideal in terms of where everything is, and it is pre-market, but I think that this is certainly worth engaging. Now, again, preference would have been engaging a cracking correlation between ES and NQ, but if we take, we're gonna accept the risk, reduce risk. I feel it's warranted, and we're going to target a London high, right? I've put the original of where we would look to enter, because that's the sort of first minute candle. Right smack bang on the news as well. Always risky to some extent, but I quite like that. Quite like that a lot. It would be a market order. Hold on. Let me just yeah, so market order. And we are going to, just want to make sure, yeah, market order there, yeah, okay. So we're going to engage with that. Can someone explain to me why? Did I not place order? What market is this placing on? Let's have a look. Entry price. Yeah, NQ. Okay. Oh Lord, have I messed this up now? It was on NQ. Let's save. That's better. Not sure why it's doing that, but okay. Right, so let's. Right, let me just... What's going on here? Like, realised... I have no idea what this thing is doing. Like a account balance and everything has all gone skew with, but alright, well, let's just continue and see. It's not looking good, I can tell you that much. That's definitely not looking good. That would indicate, yeah, this is going to yeah, I think in all honesty, this should be I just don't understand what's going on with the P&L at the bottom. Do you know what I mean? What's going on with it? So let's see how this candle closes. Okay, so not ideal. I mean, it's closed away. It's rejected from there. So, you know, we're still optimistic, but we want to see. Let's, if we were to bring this down like so. See, so that's where roughly would be looking at if we wanted to break even. But oh, looky. So the market is kind of responding positively, but we'd want to see a move higher, and we're not. So what's happened here? So what's happened here is this candle formed, but it didn't take out the low, but it did trade quite far back. But we've got the order block here, so the question is this going to be a propulsion block, or is it going to actually be the catalyst where it's actually giving us a clue that this wants to trade lower? Yeah, so now that that is closed below here, that would suggest to me, yeah, we're going to take the low. So we're going to take, would need to see this close above this candle here. If we see that, then there's a chance that this could go higher. If it doesn't, definitely not now. Okay, so the lows are definitely going to get taken. And I'd expect the stop loss to get hit now. There we go. Okay. Now, again, I don't know about this P&L. Like I'm gonna just go. I don't know where it's got this account balance from, which is really, really frustrating in terms of. I'm just gonna refresh the screen. Understand what's happened. So maybe we go back out to the dashboard. Sessions. Well, this is completely. This is completely like. This is one of the things I think you've got to accept with. Like you go to the chart with FX replay, like just randomly. Like, where's... so this is why previously on FX replay I ended up having to start I had to start taking my own, excuse me, start logging my own sort of trade journal, because the trade journal just seems to get, I don't know, corrupt somehow, and then I'm not £63,000 in profit from an £150,000 an account, because it brings in these just random erroneous trade, which is what this did. It's just random. Like the entry, weirdly, on ES. I don't know. Extremely weird. So we have to disregard that trade. Can't delete it or anything. So, all right. So anyway, we took the loss. We take that. Actually, let's just... yeah, 750, 20. Okay, so, oh my goodness. Let's just get back into where we are. It just annoys me with... oh, I've just clicked the wrong button. Sorry, folks. Right, it's that button I wanted. Okay, so let's evaluate where we are. Get rid of that. Put that back. So I want to get this out. That was a really quick loss. Let's get back into our game plan. So I'm going to take this out now. Take this out now. Let's see if we can formulate something. So let's just go back out to the hourly and have a look at... okay. So it looks as though we're going to have to wait significantly more for time for something. So I'm going to wait for equities open. It was kind of a stupid idea to get involved not pre-market, but you know, pre-equities open. So I'm going to go back out to the 5-minute. We're going to have a look at where price is going to move towards. So potentially, I'm going to look on the M5. This is looking much better. Now again, I'm going to go back to the 1-minute. This is right before equities open. So because it's right before, have we already got to equities open? Bloody hell. This candle's going to close here, which means that this is going to become the OB. Now we've got a purge of this low. So if we just go back out to the hourly, now we've got the purge between ES and NQ. So I'm just going to mark this. Let's just mark it as unconfirmed for now. It's not that important. So we've got that. And you could say we've also got that low there. Okay, so I want to have a look at the M5 on both. So we've got that potential BPR. Now if the BPR, what candle time is that candle? Yeah, so that candle's about to close, so BPR. And there's a small BPR in here as well, okay. Um, okay. Now I like this significantly more than the previous. I do like this significantly more. Now, if this was to fail, then naturally speaking, before I do that, I want to just check the H1 and see if we were to get a close above that candle. Could be interesting. That could be high probability OBH1 in there. So I want to note that as well. But this in itself, I do like a lot. I like that one a lot. So I just want to just double check that we are meeting our criteria. So that's the obviously the Asian range low. Obviously we've taken out short-term liquidity. We've traded into we've taken a key liquidity pool. Got the M15 liquidity pool there. Okay. We know the inflection point above the market in terms of London, but we can also check the H4. We have the M5 BPR, and we've seen M5 displacement, which is good as well. So yeah, I quite like this. Happy to go with this trade, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so we've accepted the risk. So new candle should form. So we're in. Oh, well, that's not good. Much better. So NQ would have been a bit of an issue. So I want to note that high. This high for me, can we get that in red? This high for me would note move stops to break even, and if the market then decided to take me out, it took me out. It is what it is. Okay, but let's see. I'm monitoring. NQ has traded above its high here, so I want to go back out to the hourly. Now, because NQ has got to that high first, I'm more conscious of the fact that this could reverse. That could be, you know, a liquidity purge and reverse. Now, whilst we're out here, I just want to jump out to the H4. Without that candle close, no, we don't know that yet. So because of that, I do want to look to bring my stop loss up and reduce risk somewhat. So let's look at a good. Let me just see how a good idea would be to. if we do this there, and then we change that to range. Okay, and let's move that to 36. There. Okay. So I'm going to do that just because of what I'm seeing on NQ. Okay, this could come back. Now, an NQ could be wanting to seek the liquidity at the lows. So, because I wasn't anticipating NQ to come and take out these lows here. So, I just want to be safe. Right? An NQ pushed significantly higher above. And look at that return. Okay, so we want to see how it's certainly looking rather bearish. I'm not seeing. I'll just drop down to the M5 and see what's happening. So we had obviously the BPR here. Traded above this inversion here. The question is and I'm not a fan of inversion fair value gaps before, everyone sort of makes that point. Oh, sugars. Let's just delete that. Not a fan of them, but hell, I'm not a fan of Friday trading as well, to be honest with you. So, but because when we look at this, I mean, NQ still looks rather. Wow. Oh dear. I pressed the wrong. Oh god. I pressed the wrong button, didn't I? Pressed the wrong button. All right. Well, that's two. So that is us done for today. Oh, that was horrible. Yeah, that is us done for today. It's certainly not playing. Let's see. It certainly appears. Wow. I mean, you're looking at that and you're thinking to yourself, what time's that? Let's see how the M15 closes. So basically, had I not adjusted my stop loss, I'm still in this trade. Let's take a. Oh dear. My screens. Just want to go out to the H1 a second. Let's just delete that a second. So let's just have a. Let me have a look here. That's a biggish SL. M5. There's no displacement yet. it would seem rather impulsive to take that trade. It still meets my criteria for the, because technically speaking, had I not adjusted the stop loss, I'm still in this trade. But let's just have a look at the. So we had the displacement here. M15 has been zero displacement. Now let's click on and see. I would anticipate now this is going up to the, well, NQ's got to that level. So the question would be, are we seeing higher prices? Wow. And there we go. What a bit of price action that was. Yeah. I don't even know how to describe that. I'm just going to speed this up. Let's just see how price continues. Whether it trades down to the previous day's low and forms a different type of setup, but it's absolutely incredible, the price action. Probably the smartest thing I did was reduce the risk on that trade, interestingly. But anyway, so the market's repricing lower. I wouldn't have had a move to, or model to move lower. I didn't anticipate bearishness in any way, shape or form, if I'm honest. So I'm not even going to sit here and say that would have been so this is where we could see something. We would want to see an M5. Would want to see an M5 displacement here. I don't think we're going to see. Oh, it's 1 o'clock now. No, so time's elapsed. All right, I'm going to leave this one here. Yeah, Fridays are just not, for me, a good day, and it's one of those things where I do need to really evaluate whether to trade Fridays, because it's never a good day for me. I find that price action is here and there. It's a good size loss for the day, but you know, we come back stronger. We take heed on what we saw. The best part was stuck to the fact that, you know, 2 losses and you're done. So I'm done. Difficult day to difficult set of scenarios to try and engage. Going to try and stay away from Fridays and really focus on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. I think they're the most liquid days to be trading, and then we'll sort of go from there. But until then, I'm going to leave this one here. I'm going to note everything, which let's just make sure. This is just so frustrating, because it just really skewers the stuff that we're trying to do, you know. Let me just. What I'm going to do is now just go to next day open, because I'm not going to take anything now anyway. You know, the market's going to do its thing. And the reason why I want to do that is because I want to just check the journal. We did not make a 50-something thousand pound day, which is okay. Maybe not sure what it's done. Oh, hold on. Let me go to next session. Right, now let's check the journal. No, still hasn't got anything. So Yeah, going to document those on my own independent spreadsheet just so I can keep track of everything and give you guys some proper information. But it really does annoy me that FX Replay just randomly creates some random trades and stuff like that and into your data. But anyway, going to leave this one here. Hopefully you took something away from it. It was a real tough slog. Not one of the finer days, but we're moving forward nonetheless. And I'm going to leave this one here. And guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you.